Hi and welcome to Made of Yarn podcast. My name is Lotte and I'm coming from Sweden. This is a channel about knitting, crochet, and today we will talk lots about yarn. If yarn is something, to have yarns, to buy yarn for crochet or knitting, is this an expensive hobby for us? Or what can you do? But first I will talk about the ordinary, what I have and what I'm wearing, knitting and so on. So you are so welcome. So I hope you will enjoy. And if you are not a subscriber, please do. Well, what I'm wearing is my daughter Lovisa's is a sweater that is out for. This is a test knit I made. It will be called No Name Sweater, I guess. The designer is a Swedish designer, Helene Olsson, Garnfrun. The pattern will be in English, of course, also. I knitted this in alpaca. No, it's an alpaca, but it's Viking of Norway alpaca, brushed alpaca or something like that. I showed last episode. I showed you a brown one that I made for my other daughter Amanda. She has the small size small, and this is the largest size 2XL. And the pattern will be released in a couple of weeks, something like that. I will tell you if you are watching this before, let's see the date, the 18th of March now. She has a 30% of sale on her patterns with cables. They are called fjäderlätt, featherlight. And she has like a collection of cardigans, sweaters, thinner yarns, really thick yarns. I love them. I test knitted 2 of them. I don't have them at home. One sweater I gave to my sister-in-law, and the cardigan, it was knitted in 2-plied wool. I loved it, but I made I should. My plan was to wash it, but I made exactly like you do when you are felting something. So from 2XL to small each. I didn't know if I should cry or laugh. I laughed, but I took myself in my ear. How stupid can you be? So I can't show one of them, but I will link them also. But now it's Swedish, Swinglish. So if you're interested, if I can interest you for the patterns, it's a good deal now, 30% discount. Nice. I will just note that I talked about it. So what I have been knitting on more now, I have finished my this is the shepherdess socks from pattern by Tracy Miller from the Grocery Girls. My plan is to knit at least 12 pair from her this year. It doesn't matter if I do them each month. The most important is that in the end of the year I have 12 pair, and I am one of her test knitters. I've been test knitting her patterns all from the start, so I have a lot of patterns and from her, and I love them. They are so well written, and they are both cute and so the words just flew away. So if you haven't checked her out, I do that. I really recommend. She has other patterns also. She has mittens. Do you say toque? Like hats in Canada? I think they say toque. Cows and shawls. So I knitted almost every pattern from her. Almost. So this pair is for. Well, it's the first pair for me. I knitted the same in another yarn for my son-in-law Oliver in January, but he has them, so I can't. I can't count them in the 12 pairs for me when I give them away. I will throw them there. If you understand, I'm so sorry. I've been lying sick for 1.5 weeks, something. I'm a little bit feverish yet. And I don't know if I told you the last episode, but I said it in the Swedish. The more tired or so I am, the more I can, the faster I can talk, and it's just a blur. So bear with me, please. Another thing that I'm knitting on, and also it's this. I can take the whole bag here. Why I'm recording right now? I could have made it in for the next weekend or so, but the April 6th it will be a knitathon again. Pia Trans, a Danish designer and YouTuber, is it for the 4th time? I can't remember. I have been there also for. I've been knitting. I think it's the 4th time, because first time I was knitting with them, and then she asked if other podcasters could join. So I have made 2 episodes live, and I will do one this date also. So the more I am searching for words. You will know more, because I will put it out also on my YouTube, so you will see the date and the time. I mean the time when because it's 4:00 Central European time that I will have it. I don't know the time where you are, so you may do the counting. I'm sorry, and that will be so much fun. If you don't know what it is, she will have 24 hours and knitted. You can crochet and do whatever you like, of course, but almost every hour she will have. It's a podcaster or also. Talking, someone is playing the piano and so on. So it will be a company during this, how long you can be up. It's perhaps you can't do it 24 hours, but if you are awake up in the middle of the night, you will have someone to watch. I hope I will finish. I don't know how well you can see this. It's actually, I started 2 days ago. It's Pia's pattern, Brise. It's both in Danish and in English. I'm knitting after the English one. And she has it in, it's Drops Bell. But I am knitting in a Swedish brand. It's Svarta Fåret Cecilia, and it's exactly the same. It's cotton, it's linen, and it is viscose. Yeah, Viscose. Do you say viscose? Yes. So it's the same amount of everything in the both brands. So I hope I will finish this one until the knit-a-thon. Another knit I'm knitting on. If you've been here before, you perhaps saw I finished this cardigan for my daughter's wedding, Amanda, in December. It's a Norwegian pattern. It's Christine Viola Ödegård. She has the pattern is not in this one. The pattern for this one is in a book, 1 year with cardigans, something like that. This was a summer knit that Christine had last year on Facebook. She has every year. But in the pattern it's not stripes. It's one of the patterns. The color work here, one of them, but my hands didn't like it in thinner yarns. Then my son and his girlfriend showed photos for my Hampus' girlfriend Charlotte, her mother. And she asked if I could do one for her. And my first thought was, when I made this, I thought never again, because when it's thinner yarns, needles, I get so much, and color work, my hands are aching. So I said never again. But then I can't refuse when I have hard to refuse. I don't take what do you say? If someone asks me, no, because I have so much to do. But when it's family. So I thought perhaps if I could make it in thicker yarn and change a little bit. So then I come to think about this book, because there is a pattern here called retro jacket, retro. This not jacket. This is a sweater. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but it says in the pattern that you can change it to a cardigan. So I will do it, but change also the stripes, because if I have about the same colors as in my cardigan, perhaps she will like it. There is also a cardigan here also in the book in thinner yarn. It's slightly different because here you have stripes also up here. You don't have it in the sweater. But I will do a mix between these patterns. This is with raglan decreases, and this is with the yoke. Well, anyway, I've started. So far I just it's from the bottom up. So I have a yarn, just you can buy it, I guess, just here in Sweden, called Ulla, and you have this Finnish yarn, Novita 7 Brothers. But then I have much of 7 Brothers leftovers, and so because here in the yoke you will not have so many, but we'll see which color I will have. I have yellow, green, blue. You will see. I haven't decided yet. I hope she will be. Oh, here I have satisfied with it. Here I have the the label for the sweater I'm wearing. It's Viking och Alpaca Maja. luxuriously brushed for a soft touch. It's really soft, really, really. Oh, I will check here so I don't, I talked about them. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, I haven't talked about, sorry, it's my iPad. I talked about Brise. I talked about the retrojacket, the socks, but I haven't. Sorry, I will die because it fell. I will pause. It fell through the chair down to the floor. I made another poncho. If you've been here last time, you saw that I'm making some ponchos for little girls that I know with leftover yarns and so, and I had a lot of this pink. And it's so fun. When I bought it, it was a special offer. And I thought, oh, at that time, almost a horrible pink. Now it's Barbie pink, isn't it? So I think this will be a popular poncho, hopefully. So I'm crocheting granny squares and also like a flower in the middle. And then I crochet them together. And I knit a collar double folded and have some elastic thread, because otherwise they will be so wide in the neck. And I'm crocheting also on this is for a girl, Esmeralda, she's 5, and I'm crocheting one also for her friend Bianca, but then I'm making an ordinary, how do you say, so I'm crocheting in the round and increase in the front and back, so I don't have to sew it together or crochet together. Just a little sip. So yes, if you are following me on Instagram, you have been seeing that I knitted some animals. Now when I was sick, I come to think, because my brother's grandson Fred 7 was yesterday on, he was in hospital, so I wanted to make him a friend. My plan was that he should have it already when he came back from the hospital, but they live 1 hour from us, so tomorrow my brother and sister-in-law, they will visit the family. Anyway, so I have the book Mush and Friends, and it's in my bedroom, so I'm sorry I forgot to take it here. In that book you have many nice animals, so I chose Tino the wolf. He is he goes with a male, so he has a big male bag. So I wrote a letter. He wrote most of his letters himself. It says that in the book. So I made him that, and also a duckling. His little sister Daisy, I've talked about her a lot. I knitted much for her. Now and then she are a kitten or a cat, and that cat lays eggs. And for some weeks ago, that it was hatched, and it was yellow ducklings. So I come to think I have to make one for her, and asked if she forgot an egg when she visited me last time, because I found one egg, and it's starting to hatch. So I will now give her the hatch. Is it a correct word? The little duckling. So I have already sent it away. So I made a little movie of the progress with I made them both. So you will see. I will put it in here so you can see them. aren't they cute? my husband said, I also want one to have by his computer. So of course, he will have one. I can show him the book and he can choose by himself. I don't know how much he understands what kind of animal it is, because the other day I was in the bedroom, he was here in the sofa, and I heard him, what did he say? The bunny in the snow is cute. And what are he talking about? Do we have bunnies? Do we have hares or rabbits or so in the garden? I didn't understand at all, because we have reindeers and birds and squirrels and so on here. So do we also have rabbits? And I went up and said, the one you made, and you have a photo in the snow. A rabbit, a bunny. It's a wolf with a nose like this and shorter ears. Oh, well, it was nice. Oh, thank you. So whatever animal I make him, he will be satisfied, and then he can call it whatever he likes. And it was really fun because you make them in one piece. Like with the wolf, you start in the nose and you knit the head all and everything, and with the little duckling Mimosa, we start in the beak. Perfect. And you don't have to sew in much more than after the stuffing, and one loose thread here and there, but not much at all. So really nice pattern. Now I will pause you here. For you it doesn't matter, because I will start then now to talk about this about if yarn is expensive, or for those who don't have the money, because I haven't yet this second translated everything from Swedish. I will do that, and then I will come back and put it together. See you soon. So now I'm back, but in my bedroom instead. Now I will talk about what I have been reading and your comments here about knitting. Is it an expensive hobby, or what is it? Can we knit with acrylic yarns or so I hope I have translated some, but I think I will make some as I read it, because I was too lazy to write it up. But we will talk about a little bit different yarn substitutions and so on. And I will also link down below, because I had in the back of my head, I remembered I saw Stacy, what's her name? Stacy Elstone. She is a podcaster and hand dyer from Michigan. She talked, it was 5 years ago that she talked about the subject yarn substitution and yarn elitism. So I will link that down below also. It was a very interesting episode, but it's more for those. She talks about yarns that it's more for those of you who lives in America, because it's not yarn that we have here in Sweden and here in Europe, what I know about. But I will talk also about some brands that, even though I can order from Sweden, some of you also can order from them also. So I will talk about a little bit of this and a little bit about that. I guess I will start by reading the comments from the one that I got from Instagram. We have an account called the Knitters. So every day it's a different person who has that account for the day, and they have different subjects each month. So in February it was the poor February, and one woman, her name is Karin something, asked question and people wrote, and that affected me. So I asked if I could use it, and I was welcome to do it. And also I asked you here and also my Swedish viewers. So I got also many comments. So I will mix it everything. So I hope you both will enjoy, even though some of the comments are a little bit heartbreaking actually. But some wrote here, let's see here. To choose among hand-dyed and luxury yarns is an utopia for many. To have a hobby is a matter of class. I can see an amount of despise even in the lovely knitting community towards those who can't or won't buy the expensive yarns, who are knitting with plastic needles, who buy acrylic yarns even though it's not good for the environment, who knit patterns from companies you don't want to mention loud. I choose not to go to yarn cafes because I will not show my knits in acrylic yarns. To tell that you like to knit with drops yarns doesn't open up to get any new knitting friends. And I will see here, sorry if you have to wait. Knitting is a matter of a class. I have been poor and I couldn't choose the cheaper alternative. If you are poor, you are really poor, you can't have knitting as a hobby. When you have to choose between food and yarn, the choice is easy. Knitting, as many other hobbies, have turned to a material sport, and that makes it also automatically excluding. To have a hobby is a privilege. On social medias, it's almost only knitting with expensive yarns and patterns that are showing. We can't be dare to be shown. It's so boring that most patterns just have an expensive yarn alternative. I get sad when some companies say that you have to buy yarn at the same time as their patterns, because I can't afford their yarns, and then I can't knit their patterns. It feels like you have to knit in expensive yarns just to support the indie dyers, but it has to be a free choice. I can't even shop on second hand, or we have here in Sweden called slaktastasje. We 1 week a year we sell our yarns, and parentheses, because the prices are too high. Knitting gives me so much joy, even if I can't afford to knit more than in acrylic yarns for $1, it brings me joy. I can't follow to yarn events or yarn events. I can't find the word, sorry. I knit a lot and I give it away. Then I have to buy a cheaper yarn. I'm perhaps also prejudiced. Is it the right word? I knit in different yarns, budget and finer, but seldom in plastic. Perhaps I look down on those who do it. Yes, that's terrible. I had to stop it. Thank you for taking this up this subject. I can feel ashamed that I fill my home with such trivial things as yarn. I get a bad smell in my mouth when I see those who are hoarding yarns. Elitism is in every kind of hobby. The worst thing being poor is to be ashamed and sorry. It's not the worst thing to be poor, but when people look down on you. I think it's hard for us who can afford to buy any yarn we want, when we want it, to really understand how it is to not have money for food and absolutely not for yarn. I get so sad when I read all about those who can't knit because of their economic situation. Even when you are poor, you have to make responsible choices. To buy a sweater quantity in acrylic yarn is nothing to defense when you look at in how it holds. Instead, it's better to buy less yarn and knit smaller projects. The library is the poor one's friend. This is something to think really for us who can afford. On Instagram is the focus on luxury yarns, and in Facebook groups is it more different, variable to say so. I wish no one should be ashamed, even though you are poor or rich. These answers feels in my heart. I have realized now how enormously privileged I am, how my behavior and my thoughts among yarns perhaps are not that including all the time. I will say thank you to all who have answered and shared. And now I have here. Someone said, I think nobody should feel ashamed to use and show acrylic yarns. I like more wool and natural fibers, but this is only my preference. Everybody should work with yarn of their choice. I often use sale opportunities like remaining stock or more affordable yarns. Let's see here. Regarding your question about making with acrylic yarns, I use it when I'm making things for my grandchildren because it's more practical for laundering. I prefer to knit with wool as I appreciate its warmth and other properties. I make because I enjoy the creative process and gift many of my finished items to family and friends. Like many others, I cannot afford to purchase a lot hand-dyed yarns, so I look for more affordable commercial brands and try to buy during sales whenever possible. Whether we have little or much, no one should be looked down upon because of their financial status. Sorry. Someone said, I think from Norway, that it's good to take up this subject about yarn types and yarn snobbery. I have cleaned out my yarn and are ready for a flea market for around 7.5 kilograms that she had in bags for a sheep. Sorry. I usually buy cheaper yarns because I'm new and want to challenge me. I know that if I can do it, it's knit or crochet, I can do it later on also in a nicer and more expensive yarn. One says, I can't knit in wool, so I have to buy the cheaper yarns, acrylic yarns. I love to knit mittens, socks and shawls. And she mentioned a special shawl that she has knitted a lot. One said that I heard from my friends that in all pods, people talk about yarn that are expensive, strange names, English designers. It's like those are new beginners have hard time to catch up with what they're talking about and feel outside. Like it's what's this? Like these pods, these channels here on YouTube are more for those who can afford and are in this special community. They know what they talk about, but she feels outside, so to say. She knits and crochet herself with different yarns and different brands. One says also here, sorry, I had to take something to. She said, thank you to talk about a taboo subject, cheap yarns. Some of the knitters in this country, Sweden, then perhaps can't afford to put money on hand-dyed yarns. She is one of them because she has a rough economic background. I don't know. I can't translate the word. She has a very rough and tough economic situation. So I have to let my wallet choose what she can buy. Sorry. And she said that there is many who have this a hard economic situation, so it's good to talk about that also. And what can we then talk about? What can we do? So this what I have got myself, and then also what I borrowed from Instagram. I'm sorry for the bad translation. I hope you are still here. I talked about Stacy. I did. When I don't put a mark on it, I can't remember if I've talked about it. We have. You perhaps you know. I don't know if you know, but there is. You can go into yarnsub.com. I will put in a short movie, so you can perhaps put in a yarn you can't afford with playing with that thought, or if you like to have some else, even so, if you perhaps you can afford it, but you can have they count and show you. Sorry, my brain is tired now. Other brands that you can choose that are similar with that yarn. Sorry, so we put that in here. So we have here in Norden. Norden. We have Finland have a brand, Novita. If you go into they have also, so you can choose. They are in Finnish, Swedish, and in English, so you can order from them. They have several times a year a really good sale. For example, let's see if I can find here. But what I showed you before, this is a thicker sock yarn. It says it's Aran, but I don't know if it's that thick. But anyway, now I have to think both in, let's say if euro and dollar is about the same, we play that with that thought also. So around 6-7 euro or dollars usually, but now and then you can buy, for example, 4 of these for 12 euros or $12, something like that. And that's a good opportunity to then I talk with others also, if you like to order together. If you order over, in Swedish it's 500 crowns, but 50 euro, dollars, something like that, it's a free shipping also. But they have much. They have this is thicker, they are thinner, they have many yarns, much of them. But it's good to know when it's perhaps cheaper, periods of cheaper yarns. I can't talk about the Swedish brand, Swedish companies, I mean. I have talked now and then. I will show you some. I can show you just this one, because there's you have this tines from Latvia. For example, I made it. That's why I'm sitting on this blanket again. That I made. If you've been here before, you saw. I made this last year as temperature blanket. Sorry. So I used tines yarn in the whole blanket, and this is a really nice yarn. It's a 2-plied, so it's a 350 meters. I'm not sure about the yards, but they sell also all over the world, and they have a lot of colors, and they cost €3 each for 100 grams, $3 then about. But until the end of March, so March 31, with the words Lotte, you get 11% cheaper for the 100 grams yarns. So Lotte and 11%. Here you have an alternative to, I can really recommend it. I start again. I can really recommend to talk with friends to do a big buy if you can, because they have I didn't write that up, but you have about 12-ish euro dollar for the shipping up to 10 of these, so 1 kilo. But after that they have, it's 15, around 15 euro dollar, we say. But if you count that together with the yarns you buy, and you I don't know the words in when you do to do the countings, but when you count it together and you see the price for one, it's still such a cheap yarn. And I really like it myself. I have a big IKEA plastic box full of tines yarns, and I'm crocheting also now on another temperature blanket for my youngest daughter for the year that she was born, in just special colors. So this one is one of them, and pink and blue and white just. But I have knitted so much. Knitted animals. I have cardigans, sweaters and so on. And if you check on their homepage, it's easy just to push a button there, so you have English and everything there. So you can see they have ready-made clothes they are selling, the mittens, socks. So I have also knitted socks in this, even though it's 100% cotton wool. Well, it's, for me, it's you can if you know about the Norwegian brand Rauma, they call Gammelserien. It's there's a sock yarn. It's also 100% wool. It's about the same. It's hard spun. Do you say so? It's hard spun. So even though, well, knitted socks doesn't hold as long as when you have something polyamide or nylon, whatever in, but it's perfect for bed socks or just go inside, because I knitted several for one of my daughters, and both of them I knitted a double thread, and they are so warm and cozy. But no, if you have wear them in shoes, they will be worn out quite quickly. But it's a very good alternative, and they will never end. I promise you. One skein is 350 meters, but it feels like it's much more in it. I forgot something. You can prepare. I forgot something in Swedish also to talk about, because I haven't wrote it here. About Holst yarns in Denmark. They have Holst Super Soft, they have Coast, and they have many different. But they have also very good price, both in small. I haven't one here now. The smaller cakes, so to say, but they also can buy them in cones, and I have done that, and you can really you can make so much with that cone. And now and then they also have 20% on their sale, yeah. And many designers, at least I know two, Ellie from Skandir and Gudrun Johnston, they have used that in as alternative for other. Ellie uses much Norwegian wool. She comes from Norway and love that. And Rauma is one example. Rauma Finol. But even though Holst Super Soft is so much thinner, I think it even says that it's lace. But when you wash it, it blooms. Because I tested it one time for Ellie. I can put in a photo because it's in a wardrobe. I can't reach it now. And one alternative then was Holst Super Soft. So it was my first try with it, and after that I'm hooked. I really like Holst Super Soft. So that's also one cheaper yarn to with good quality, really good quality. I order directly from them, but many shops have them also. Overseas in America also many have them. I've seen that in some podcasts. Even also down in Australia, I know, and several other countries also. I will just check here. Yeah. I think that was everything about this subject. Thank you for your patience with me. A bad translation and a tired brain. But I hope even so that the main thoughts came through. That sorry, it's different. Everyone have a different situation, but to knit is something that should be comfortable, trustworthy thing. I don't know how to say it. My first, if you are new, so my first episode I made soon, it's 2 years ago. It was because I started because to talk about how knitting is beneficial when you are chronically ill, as I am, when you have a burnout, and so on. And also when you are in a financial situation that you can't afford for the moment, but no, sorry, you are perhaps then also, because of that, down under the ice. So it to have the opportunity to knit and crochet, to relax with that in that hard situation is also a good medicine. I hope you understand my thought there. So I haven't spoke about it in the Swedish episode also. I haven't searched so much more, but perhaps you know yourself if there are, for example, some Facebook groups where you live, if there are, or how they are doing in the area where you live, if there are possibilities to perhaps give yarn for someone who can afford it for the moment. I myself, when my parents lived at the elderly house, I don't know what it's called, they lived, I heard those who worked there many older ladies, they wanted to knit but they hadn't got any yarn, so I filled a bag, and I had also this straight jumper, this knitting needles that I didn't use anymore, and gave them, but also to give to schools and kindergartens and so on. But perhaps also now and then, perhaps give to someone who, if you know someone who can't afford for the moment, just so they can enjoy, because I don't know where I would be if I couldn't knit and crochet when I deal with pain all the 24 hours 24/7, to say so, for example, because that makes me forget much of that. I hope you understand the what I'm trying to say. But if you have any more, if you sit on some information or something, please share that, so I can tell it, or if someone can read it afterwards also, or I can tell it in another episode. So next time, I hope we'll see each other on the Knitathon, the April 6th, 4 p.m. Central European time, whatever you have where you live. And this time it will be 2 other Swedes also. So after me, 5 p.m. it's Mary Lou Knits, and then in the morning after, for us where you live, perhaps it's in the middle of the day, we have Petra, that before was the indie dyer Fru Valborg. She now have podcast Yarns and Yoga, something like that, or the opposite. So we are 3 from Sweden this time. And then when I will post the next episode after that, I have no idea when it will be. But I hope this was something for you. I thank you if you still are here. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you a good knitting and or crocheting or something to craft. Do something with your hands. Bye.